Hello to Be Now for Tuesday. What is it? August the 2nd already. Time is flying by. Joining me now is Fazelle Khan.
Hi, Don.
Fazelle, we just made it by the skin of our teeth this week, and all because of your lousy driving. Is that correct?
No, it's because of bad roads, and if you're just tuning in, I had a flat tire today. I was driving on Dixie Road South near Emancipation Park, and I heard a pop. My tire went flat, and it's going to cost me $1,700, if you can believe that.
Well, I can believe it, because so you're getting all new rims and all new tires. Is that what you're telling us?
Well, it made sense because one OEM rim was going to cost $800 just for the rim. So
well, you could have gone to not OEM.
Well, so I don't want 3 rims and then one non-OEM. So
you could have gone 2 and 2. You could have
anyways done. Nobody
front,
cares
leave
about
the 2
my
back,
tire
switch
problems.
them up. You know, you go. Someone like the tire terminal could have changed the back 2, left the 2 front ones, and not OEM ones.
I just got to go to a Go parking lot, look for a Chevy Bolt, and just take the tire off. Because that's
that's a quick way to do it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll work. Yeah. Anyway, today was exciting. Like last week, basically, we were talking about. We got an email from someone from City Hall, and they were talking about how the city authorized hush money for the victim that Gurpreet Dhillon basically sexually harassed. And we were going to check it out. Well, today, Mayor Brown had a press conference and basically talked about just what we were talking about last week. Apparently, he is coming out and saying, what were the figures today? Because you were at the press conference, Faz.
Well, so apparently over $60,000 of taxpayers' dollars were spent as part of the settlement agreement process with Councillor Gurpreet Dhillon and the person who, I'm going to say accused him, but I think we all know it's a little more than that, accused him of sexual harassment while on a business trip to Turkey. So I think the breakdown was $18,000 paid by the city, about $40,000 paid in legal costs by the city, and then another $3,000. I can't remember exactly what that was for, but so far it's over $60,000. So at the press conference, some of the questions that were being asked by the reporters there was, well, what proof do you have of this? And so the mayor basically said he had a conversation with the CAO. The CAO checked, and the money was in fact paid. But I guess the city and the CEO doesn't want to release this information until council passes a motion to deal with it, right? So apparently on Friday there's another meeting scheduled. We'll see who shows up to that meeting if they have quorum. And then one of the goals of that meeting is to start the process of revealing what this information is and what transpired. And Don, I'll tell you, everybody I've spoken to a little bit about this are shocked. They don't expect a single cent to be paid on behalf of Gurpreet Dhillon for this.
Well, number one, why are the city taxpayers paying this? And number two, if the mayor and council weren't, well, we know one councillor was involved because he had an NDA signed, so he knew what was going on. Gurpreet Dhillon.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention that. So there is an NDA was signed. I was going to ask the question, but the event kind of wrapped up before I had a chance to ask it. But when was that NDA signed? Because I know, Don, you've been one of the, even when we have the mayor on, you've been asked them, has Gurpreet Dhillon paid the $20,000 fine he was levied by the Integrity Commissioner? And then, is this lawsuit settled? Because anytime the mayor's on, and I kind of question you, why you ask the mayor that? Why would the mayor know that? And you were questioning him. Now we understand that the city, and so the explanation of why this might have happened is because the $18,000 wasn't. I think it was by the risk management team. It didn't,
yeah. Well, here's the thing.
It didn't reach the threshold of going to council for approval.
2 weeks ago, I sent an email to the CAO and Diana Suze, who is in charge of bylaw and also risk management, in regards to did they pay out this money and was it paid out of taxpayers' money? Never got a response. You sent an email to the media relations person and you got back the comment that we don't comment on situations like this, which to me was a ridiculous answer coming from someone who's in media. And number two, using taxpayers' money to settlement and sign a non-disclosure agreement with someone like this in regards to something like this is just sickening, and it's a waste of taxpayers' money on top of all the other taxpayers' money that Gurpreet Dhillon has filed. Don't forget, he was censored by the integrity commissioner that they fired. He didn't agree with her findings, and he sent that to the Superior Court. How much did that cost? And that was turned down as well. Now,
and a three-judge rule on that one.
Right. And now he comes back and he's using taxpayers' money to basically, for hush money from the city funds that was not approved by mayor or council in any way, shape, or form, to pay off basically a payola to someone to keep quiet. And now he issued another statement saying he's going to file legal charges against Patrick Brown. Really? Okay. What are the chances of that, dude? Okay, you lost the first time. You lost the second time. Your track record, number one, speaks for itself in regards to the findings and the video or the audio that was released by the integrity commissioner where the woman said 74 times, no, no, no. I don't think you got a chance in hell. But, yeah, go ahead. But the city and
we all know,
not
Don,
be paying for this.
It's a deflection, because I looked at some of the ethnic media and I looked at social media, and they're leading with Gurpreet Dhillon is getting his lawyers to sue Brown. That's the lead, as opposed to money was paid by taxpayers to settle his sexual harassment.
Yeah, well, that's the ethnic media. They come out on all this on the side of that all the time. It's no big surprise from coming in Brampton, living in Brampton, that the ethnic media takes that side. I still see Gurpreet Dhillon out, with seniors clubs taking photos, and it's like, guys, really? This is a councillor that you want representing, and this is the ethic and moral code that you guys are willing to back? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I even saw the new MP in Brampton North, Graham, what's his last name, Don?
Graham McGregor.
Graham McGregor, out with Gurpreet Dhillon on the weekend at an event, and their buddies. You know what? No, don't do that.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I haven't met Graham. We haven't talked to him. I know that we were going to schedule something to talk about what he has planned or what he sees are the critical things in Brampton North. But at the same time, someone with a track record like that, you hang out with a rapist or something like that. Is it like, come on, guys, really? I mean, ethical, moral choices seem to be, out the window.
These people have to be shunned. They have to be embarrassed. It cannot be normalized.
Well, the integrity commissioner said in her findings, basically, if there was a tougher municipal act to make sure that, he would not be a council anymore, she would all be in favor for it. And here's the thing, the municipalities of Ontario actually put in a whole bunch of recommendations to the provincial government, the Ontario provincial government, saying they wanted to change the municipal act because, number one, the penalties for councillors misbehaving was not strong enough. And Toronto Star actually had an article on the weekend just saying that and highlighting Gurpreet Dhillon's case.
Yeah. Okay, so Don, there's 4 questions looks like coming. Let's go one after the other. So the first one's from Karen, our regular viewer. What are the chances we'll get quorum on the meeting scheduled for Friday?
I don't know, and that's heads or tails, but we'll see what happens. If it's interesting to find out if this is factual, he gets everything else. Gurpreet Dhillon knew because he had an NDA. How many other councillors of those 5 councillors knew what Gurpreet Dhillon was doing?
So here's what I'm thinking happened with staff at the city of Brampton. So $18,000 is a small amount of money to make this lawsuit go away, because I think the victim was suing the city of Brampton. Yeah. $18,000 is a small amount, but I know no taxpayer money should be spent on this. So
no
that's
taxpayer money. No,
the minds of the risk management team, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's Gurpreet Dhillon saying, I'm going to get city staff and city solicitors to sue Mayor Brown. These are the same 5 councillors that fired the city solicitor because they wouldn't take his advice on the municipal act, right, by having Charmaine institute her replacement. They didn't listen to him, but they're willing to for another one. Like this, it's a ridiculous scenario that these 5 councillors continually draw up, and it's a ridiculous scenario.
Okay, but in terms of quorum, I don't know how the other councillors, Medeiros, Fortini, Bowman, and Willens, if they don't show up to this meeting, what's their excuse going to be? Because
how can they justify? Here's the thing: the IC ruled he was in sexual harassment. The Superior Court of Justice, 3 Superior Court justices ruled, yeah, it's a finding. Sorry, dude, you did.
Well, and also those 4 councillors were in favor of the sanctions against Gurpreet.
Right, exactly. And now all of a sudden they're on his side, and now they're willing to pay hush money. So if those other 4 councillors knew about it, all 5 councillors are culpable. And it's like they're willing to waste taxpayers' money on a sexual harassment lawsuit and an NDA clause with basically the victim and using taxpayer monies to silence. Is that like they gotta be?
Those 4 councillors should come on and say, we want nothing to do with Gurpreet Dhillon.
Well, they should, but
it's
let's
all
see what
politics,
happens.
because then they lose the majority, right?
Yeah, and if I was a woman, I would be outraged, and there's no way I'd vote for any of those 5 councillors.
Right. So I have the video of the press conference today. I haven't really seen it much on social media. I know CP24 went live with it, and they haven't done much with it since because I think they're worried about lawsuits. But I have it, and the 2 statements by Councillor Rowena Santos, who's the only woman on council now, and I think it's Andrea Barrett. I could be wrong with the last name. Small business owner in Brampton. They were powerful statements. And so I'm going to clip those out and we're going to share it. We might actually have a show tomorrow to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, if you hadn't blown your tire, then we would have had those. So
I did not blow my tire. The road did something to my tire.
Well, the reason is that you keep your eyes on the road.
You, Don, you the taxpayer, if you can
like
pay
that on the road.
If you can pay for Gurpreet Dhillon's sexual harassment, you can pay for my blown tire driving down Dixie.
Anyway, we got a couple more comments. Let's put them up.
So Crystal says, what are your thoughts on this playing out in the press all the time? It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing.
Yeah. Now, I know we've got a couple. We've got a couple of candidates that actually declared themselves. I think running in 910 is who was it?
So we got Azad.
But there's another one. What was it? He was head of the World Sikh Organization.
No, that's 7 and 8.
Oh, 7 and 8. He's running in 7 and 8. Okay.
And Charmaine's OC. We'll talk about
right.
that.
So 7 and 8. What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Jaskaran Sandhu.
Jaskaran. Yeah. Jaskaran Sindhu.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not watching Don. What's his name?
Well, I keep forgetting. I drew a blank, right? Jaskaran, I know we've been, we talked to him when he was dealing with Linda Jeffries and so on and so forth. But, he's a candidate to basically taking a look and saying, put out a video. Brampton has got this sort of cloud over it on a regular basis because of these councillors. You never hear from Mississauga, and even how bad Toronto is with the dysfunctional council they have, you never really hear about it, right?
Yeah. So in terms of the integrity commissioner, Azad's asking, I think her rate was $600 an hour. Don't quote me.
Yeah, it wasn't $1,200 an hour, including her and staff.
Which is a standard rate.
Her standard rate was something that was already set.
When they got a replacement integrity commissioner, guess how much they were paying that replacement? The same they were paying.
Same amount.
When they fired.
Same amount. Plus the fact that her contract was up in 2023, and all the councillors basically okayed the original contract with the integrity commissioner. So to say that they didn't know what she was billing and paying, really, then if you didn't do your homework, then you shouldn't be sitting in the seat.
Yeah, and Don, because we were involved in an integrity commissioner complaint, and we got interviewed by the integrity commissioner. And it was probably a couple hours for me, a couple hours for you, plus all the paperwork they do behind the scenes to prepare. Let's say it was 20 hours times $600. That adds up, Don.
Yeah, well, if you're a lawyer, you're not going to be working for $100 an hour, are you? If you're a mechanic, you will work for $125 an hour. I know that's what my mechanic does. Yeah. What's his name for mayor?
And one tire rim is $800. So what's $600 for an hour of legal expertise?
I'd love to see all these. Like Pat Fortini was the one complaining, saying, "Oh, she was charging too much." How many years in law school and university does someone go through, right, to get to that point? It's like saying a doctor shouldn't earn X amount of dollars, because of the time and everything else. All right, what do you got in the envelope?
So this is not a good one. Well. So at the press, can you receive it? Okay.
No, it's the other way around.
At the press media briefing with Mayor Brown today and Councillor Santos, they handed out a package of information. And the email, the whistleblower email we got last week, I think some of it's in here.
Okay, because we got that, so it's confirmed. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we also got this, and I haven't gone through this. This looks like a statement of claim between Jane Doe and Gurpreet Dhillon in the city of Brampton.
Okay, so that's basically what we were told last week by this person who sent us an email. Now it's confirmed. We will go through that. If we have to do another show tomorrow to get the footage, we will. We'll let you know.
And
But
that's 19 pages. Here's the last page. See, it says 19 down at the bottom there. You see that? So that's a lot of work for me to go through, Don.
well, you know, you can always send me a copy and I can go through with it, right?
I got to scan it and all that. My fee for scanning is
How much?
I got to pay for my tires now.
Should hand out whistles with your logo on it to Brampton City staff. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Remember, we always wanted to do a speaker's corner. We should put one inside City Hall.
Well, I thought at one time they did have a whistleblower policy at City Hall where you could actually be anonymous and actually go into the departments and stuff. I thought that was still in there in City Hall because I thought that was implemented like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, but that doesn't benefit us, Don. We want it to be anonymous to us, so we get the information.
Anyway, tomorrow, theoretically, you'll have the footage all cut up and ready to go, and then we can go through the NDA that you have and the confidential one that they handed out, and we'll go through some of the points.
So it sounds like you're committing to a show tomorrow, Don.
Well, I think, you know, basically we would have had the footage today, but we don't have it today. So let's do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Rather than wait till next Tuesday.
All right. But there's a lot to go through. And, you know, one of the criticisms I hear is, oh, everybody's at fault here. No. Gurpreet Dhillon. Right. And to me, that's you remember a couple of shows back, well, like, what is the source of this conflict on city council? Because Gurpreet Dhillon, if you recall, used to be on the side with the mayor. They had an overwhelming majority. Pat Fortini was all there. This integrity commissioner thing happened. They found Gurpreet Dhillon did what he did. And from that point forward, Gurpreet Dhillon, I think, went to the other side and said, I'm just conjecturing here, right? Started colluding with them to be relevant, right? And that caused all the problems. And, you know, they fired the integrity commissioner. Councillor Dhillon participated in a vote to fire the integrity commissioner. Right. Councillor Bowman did not because he had an active complaint against him. Councillor Fortini did not declare a conflict, even though he had an active complaint against him. Councillor Medeiros did not, even though he had well, that's why you cannot say both sides are even here.
Yeah, but that's why, number one, the CAO has a lawsuit. He has a claim with the city right now, over $1 million. As we said last week, the integrity commissioner put a file of $3 million plus on the city and the 6 councillors, including Charmaine Williams, who is now an MPP. That's 2. Like, you know, they fired the HR director. They fired the director of communications. God knows when those lawsuits are going to be going up. But basically, you know, you've got a lot of lawsuits and a lot of money coming out. So anyway, let's do that show tomorrow. We'll check out. We'll get the footage and we'll be able to put that out there.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one. A new segment. New segment. We just made it up about 10 seconds before we started. So here we go. Can you see that, Don?
Oh, yeah. Seen on social media. Okay. So this was seen on social media. Somebody posted on social media. I think it was last week. So missing city councilors Martin Medeiros, Jeff Bowman. Please come back, Martin and Jeff. It's time to get back to work. Blah, blah, blah. If you see it, city clerk, and they got a CTV logo. Anyway, this was put up on social media, and a lot of people commented on it. I thought it was hilarious. Some idiot said that basically it was third-party advertising and was illegal. Yeah, okay. Third-party advertising is when you support a candidate or you're putting down a candidate. This was an information saying these councillors are missing, so it wasn't third-party advertising in the least. It's kind of funny, but I heard last week, I think it was Thursday, Friday, that both Martin Medeiros and Jeff Bowman asked the Peel Regional Police to investigate who put this up. Now here, we follow the Peel Regional Police on Twitter all the time. We got gunshots, we got shots fired, we got people stopped for basically, there was carjackings, there was robberies. And these 2 clowns want to get the Peel Regional Police involved in a poster putting up at a bus shelter and on a hydro box. Really? Really? You want the Peel Regional Police to investigate who is it? This is Martin Medeiros with the God complex saying he can do anything he wants. And now he's outraged that somebody is doing what they want and putting up a parody up on a bus shelter and a hydro box saying, where are the city councillors? Really? Really? Your feelings are that hurt that basically you have to call the Peel Regional Police and waste their time and resources? Really? Unbelievable.
But I got to say, those posters are highly effective. I don't know what. Let me put it back up. I don't know if it's the size, because that's not an 8.5 by 11 piece of
No,
paper.
it looks pretty big.
That's a big format printer that was used for that. It's a color one, obviously. They took the CTV logo for some reason. I don't know why CTV.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
it was effective because let me say something, Don. And if you were supporting a candidate, and we know some of the people who posted this stuff, if you were supporting, or if you're against certain candidates, you don't bring attention to the stuff that they probably don't want attention to, yet they posted it.
It doesn't make a difference. I thought it was hilarious. Someone out there is funny. It's like, you know what? If you can't poke fun at councillors and stuff like that are doing games, playing games themselves on a regular basis, and they're ignoring their constituents, and basically, they're the ones that said in the beginning, democracy. Patrick is taking a blowtorch at democracy. Well, at the same time, they turn around, they don't show up for meetings. Not only that, they don't even show up for the meetings that they call.
Yeah. So, and I see on social media, people don't follow as closely as I do. That's why there's no equality here in terms of behavior. Gurpreet Dhillon is a class above when it comes to bad behavior. I'm not even going to put the other councillors even anywhere near him, right? But if they continue to support him, they're getting closer to that, and residents need to pay attention.
Well, absolutely, number one, yeah, and especially with this situation today, where Patrick came out and said, basically, hush money, and at City Hall, I'd love to know who authorized this, to use taxpayers' money for this. If they are using taxpayers' money for this, what else are they using taxpayers' money to do that we don't know about?
Yeah, and I think that was one of the questions that the mayor was asked, and he basically said that, it didn't reach the threshold, but I don't know what the threshold is.
Well, what's the threshold? I mean, that's a ridiculous statement. Basically, the threshold should be zero. It should be $0.
Well, in this case, in any case where you're assigning an NDA, to me, anything with an NDA should go through council, and it should be done in camera if necessary. There's no reason why the other councillors should not know about this.
Well, if it was so bad you need an NDA, number one, yeah, that should be going to the Peel Regional Police for investigation. Forget about calling the Peel Regional Police for an investigation about a sign that says Martin and Jeff Bowman are missing. Why don't you call Peel Regional Police to do an investigation on why this is paid out to a sexual harassment case?
I don't believe in those kinds of laws or getting the police involved in that. It's like, when have we ever seen police or the OPP or the RCMP come into a municipality and investigate anything and find some guilt? Unless there's one of the reasons the integrity commissioner role was implemented in municipalities was because in Toronto in the 90s, there was this computer scandal in leasing.
Right.
And in that case, there was pure fraud going on there. Right.
That was millions of dollars.
And I'm not even sure the police actually charged anyone in that case. So getting police involved, it's like if something's happening in your corporation and somebody's stealing money, do you call police?
Yeah, but here's the difference. This is public money. In a corporation, basically the shareholders, you're responsible to the shareholders, and the shareholders can kick your ass out, right? So if I'm involved,
so the voters are the shareholders.
Well, of course, but the voters need to know, right? If you pay someone off, if you're a mining company and you're paying off someone in Africa, some dictator to go mining there, and the shareholders don't know about it, or they know about it. I mean, that comes up at shareholders meetings. When does this come up? It only came up because, number one, you had a whistleblower saying, hey, this is not right. You're using taxpayers' money to pay off an NDA for sexual harassment.
Okay, so that's a good transition, because the shareholders, or in this case, the residents, need to know. And that is why, if you were watching the promo of the show, we have started. Me personally, have been working since we got the whistleblower email last week on a new website called nohushmoney.ca. So, I was hoping to get most of it done today, and I didn't have a chance. But if you go to nohushmoney.ca, there is a petition on there, and I don't even have a chance. I don't have the screen up to show you. There's a petition there. All I'm asking for is your name, your email, your mobile number. I think that's it. And I want thousands of people on this, right? Because it acknowledges you understand what's going on here. And I want to promote that number at some point, right? I want it to be in the tens of thousands. I'm not gonna, so you have my personal word. Nothing is going to happen to your contact information, but we want to substantiate that information, not just say, oh, 21,000 people signed up. No, I want people to stand behind this, put your name there. We won't share your mobile, your email, or your whatever else I asked. There wasn't much. So go to nohushmoney.ca, click the petition button, and provide your information. And let's see, between now and election day, how many people we can get to sign up to say, don't elect this guy. And we were talking about earlier about third-party advertising. I'm not spending any money on this. I think I might have paid $15 for the domain. This is my expertise. This is not costing me much time or effort. It's a simple website, so people will criticize. Oh, this is a third. Who am I advertising? I'm educating and informing. That's why we exist, right, Don?
Absolutely, 100%. And you know what? If people don't like it, too friggin' bad, right? I'm tired of dealing with people that just, they're blinders on and they're just plain stupid. So.
Yeah, and I don't appreciate that comment, Mike, because the website, I put up I registered the domain name early this morning, and within a few minutes, I had 10 signups. And I think because there's money in the domain name, right? So there's scammers out there looking for, and they'll put information in. So I implemented some new security, and I'll review the list. And if it looks like I'm deleting it, right? I want legitimate people. Oh, I asked you for postal code, because I want to see where people are showing their disapproval. So please, thank you, Karen. nohushmoney.ca. I'm populating that with all the articles I can find about Gurpreet Dhillon. Hopefully, some new ones today. That's probably the thing that's going to take me the longest, is just getting that information there.
Well, we have some already written up on bramptonfocus.ca, so we can transfer those over.
Well, no, I've already linked it. You
have?
So
okay,
when you go and you see those articles, if you click it, you're actually going to the source of the article, right? So if it's a Toronto Star, Global, Bramptonist, Brampton Focus, and whoever else, all the ethnic media, this cannot be. This cannot stand, right? We don't need to rely on the premier to change the municipal act to give an integrity commissioner more powers. We as voters need to say no. 74 times, if you look at that, 74 times is how many times the victim of Gurpreet Dhillon had to say no before he got the message. 74 times. At least we can get 74 votes by the end of tonight, or sign-ups to the petition.
Yeah, so I think we're close to our time frame, Faz. So tomorrow we'll schedule another from 6:30 to 7. We'll have the clips basically. Now, will it go to 7? We don't know. We'll do the clips and we'll talk about it. If there's any more information to go on, then we will put it out there. But number one, it's a good thing that this person at City Hall decided to send us an email, because she didn't like what was going on at City Hall and what was the situation.
And if I can add on, the mayor at the press conference this morning said that he personally spoke with this person. So it's not some made up person, right?
Right.
He spoke to her, and then I can't remember the timeline. And then he spoke to the CAO to ask if there's any validity to this, and the CAO confirmed it.
Yeah, and in my mind, there's a lot of questions and answers that need to be made from the CAO and from Diana Suze, who's in charge of that whole department of bylaws, and including that what they classified as risk management. So she's in charge of that department. I emailed her asking her if this never got a response, and there's a whole bunch of basically answers that need to be discussed.
Yeah. And you know what's going to be even more shameful, Crystal, than what's going on now, is if Gurpreet Dhillon gets reelected. That would even be more shameful.
Absolutely, 100%. So, okay, let's wrap it up, Faz. I know you got tires to, you got,
I got to recover from my 6 hours
market.
6 hours of dealing with a tire.
All right. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 with that footage.